Oh my gosh. Yo, we did it! Let's go! Hey, there we go. What's good, everyone? It's Zigzag here. Welcome back to another GeoGuessr video. Today, I have a really cool one for you. So, 10-second no moving, panning, or zooming on a community world. I've been grinding for that 24,000 point game, and I finally got it on stream the other night. At the end of this video, I'm going to go through a bunch of really nice games I had in the last week, and finish the whole thing off with the insane 24,000 point game. It's one of the best games I ever played in GeoGuessr, so you have to stick around to the end of the video to see that. But in the meantime, I'm going to do some more attempts just to see if we can even do better. I'm going to play 5 or 10 minutes of this and see if we can make any magic happen again. So this one should be somewhere in Eastern Europe. I kind of like this for a Croatian poll, so I think I'll just go somewhere near Zagreb here. Let's try that. Will it be true? You know what? That's not too bad. As 4,750, we'll definitely take that. And the next one here is probably Japan, but I guess it feels quite southern to me. So yeah, let's just go around Kunamoto here. Ends up actually being all the way up there. So obviously, you need to average about 4,900 points per round, so you really, in order to get the world record, that is, about 4,800 in order to get a really, a good 24,000 score. So, yeah, I don't know where this one is, maybe near St. Petersburg or something like that. Ends up being actually just over the border in Estonia, so despite the fact that we got the wrong country, we actually got close enough to continue here, which is nice. And the next one here should be somewhere in Laos, and it's quite flat, so I'll just go Vientiane here. I don't think it's actually there, but we'll just try it. Ends up being in Vientiane, so this is actually a really nice start here. Let's see if we can continue this on. Next one here feels like maybe, I would say this is actually going to be Croatia again, because we don't have blue strips on the plates. So I'm going to go all the way near, like, ooh, that's actually another nice guess. Okay, this one's actually turning into an attempt. We actually may have another high score in our hands here if we get lucky in the last 2 rounds. But yeah, that was a nice guess. I'm happy with that a lot. No blue strips on the plates there. Ooh. Okay, I was thinking somewhere out here. We'll see if that's right. Oh man, it was just Cambodia. I thought it looked like a one of the lesser Noosa polls, but no, it was just in Cambodia. So that attempt is gone for. But actually, had I been more on the ball there, that could have been a good attempt still, because Cambodia is pretty small. It's the type of country you like to see. Anyway, okay, this one I have no idea. Maybe Oklahoma or something like that. Ends up being Nebraska, about a bit further north than where I was clicking initially. So yeah, USA is not really a country you want to see too often. This one should be somewhere in Denmark. Just going to send it in. We have the short dashes on the outside of the road. That's a really nice score. We'll take that. Next one here is Czechoslovakia. That looks like a Czech sign to me. Yeah, not too sure what this would be. I'm just going to click in the middle of the country because I can't really put a region on it. And it's up being 150 kilometers away. We'll continue just for the video. I don't think this is probably good enough. 06 phone code here should be fairly southern, I imagine. Around here, maybe. Maybe there, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember how low the numbers go, but yeah, okay, 63 kilometers away is fine. This one should be somewhere in, I think it's actually going to be somewhere in Philippines, and I'm not really sure where to put this, but let's just go there. Ends up being much further north. Okay, this run is clearly dead after that guess alone, but okay, let's just go there. And so it was a 19,000. We're on a 6-country streak, but no can do with some of these guesses. But guys, I'm just super stoked about this. You guys are really going to like this video when we get around to watching it. This should be a Guatemala car. The blur at the back of the roof rack is a bit different to what you see. Oh, the score's not quite good enough, but the blur at the back of roof rack cars is a little bit different. It's a bit thinner than on a normal Google car, so it's definitely usable. Interesting that we have like a Chinese motif here, because I do think this is actually Russia. I'm just going to go around Orenburg. Not really sure where this actually be. Okay, actually ends up being way far south. What's the Chinese thing doing there, I wonder? Oh, unless it was like a, I know there's like a republic around there that kind of has like some, what would you say, like some Mongolian heritage from all the way back when. This is probably not there. Yeah. I only realized a little bit too late that we were driving right hand side of the road there, but not a problem. This is interesting. What's that poll about, huh? Ooh, where is this? I feel like this is super gettable, but I just can't think of it. Just going to go Dominican Republic, see if that's correct. Ends up being in Davao. Okay, that was probably gettable, but unfortunately didn't spring to mind. That is looking like Indonesia, and oh, they look like Bali roofs almost. I'm going to click Bali here. Let's see if that's correct. Actually, wow, 4.1 kilometers away. That's clean. Yeah, so some of the roofs in Bali, I'll actually go ahead and show just because just because, you know, well, we'll see. But anyway, in Belarus, you have these like little shrines at the top. So yeah, that's how I knew it was Bali. You can see these ones in the distance there. So let's continue on here. And this one should be somewhere in... Why is there English there? I can't think of where this is. Oh my gosh, Accra. Wow. I was completely baffled by that round. I did not know why it was so dry. So yeah, interesting one. This one again is quite difficult. This is like not a regular crossing sign. I'll just go Poland. I have no idea where it's actually going to be though. It's not Poland, I don't think. No, Austria. That makes a lot more sense. The architecture felt a bit Polish because the houses are quite square, but yeah, wasn't going to be. Let's just go Sweden here. Ends up being 49 kilometers away. I swear I'm on fire right now, bro. Okay, and this one is France, and I would say it's somewhere up here. Houses definitely feel this way, so let's go all the way. Let's commit. Ooh, 57 kilometers away. I swear that's where I clicked, right? But still really nice. Next one here is Poland. Okay, please, let's clutch it up. I don't know where this will be, though. Let's go that. Ah, man. You know, 4.3, we'll take it. I mean, it's not world record pace anymore, but still. And this one's also kind of confusing. This is actually, I thought it was Philippines off the bat, but I guess it might be over here. Yeah, it's actually Northern Argy, so... Okay, one more attempt here, and then I'll get into explaining some of my nicest games from recently. But you guys can see that things are not going so badly for the old Zig here. He's going alright. So, okay, probably should have just guessed Portugal, because it looked rather Portuguese. And next one is going to be somewhere in Chile. Okay, this is a nice looking round. I would say Concepcion area with all these pines, so let's just go for that. Ends up being 107 kilometers away. We can start with that. Next one here is Australia, and they look like Western Australian bollards. I would say this is somewhere north of Perth, maybe. Ends up being north of Perth indeed. Okay, nice, good start. Next one here. We got front plates. We got blue on the plates there. There's a lot of plates that use, a lot of states that use blue plates, like around Connecticut, Massachusetts area. Ends up being in Rhode Island. Very nice. 58 kilometers away. Okay, this one's turning into a nice attempt. And it's going to be ruined by this Russia, sadly. I can't think of anything better, so let's just go suckle in here. Why not? Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. Ends up being all the way up here. And that is the story of my life. Okay, so let us now tune in to this one here, and I'll run you through some of my better games. So let's go for it. First one here. We start off in what appears to be Indonesia. Even though it's a concrete road, which is kind of uncommon for Indonesia, the pole over to our left looks really Indonesian. I go for Sulawesi, and it ends up being 42 kilometers away. Really nice start there. Next one here, we are next to like just some trucks, and it's kind of not an obvious round. I thought it should be Ukraine, but the trucks obscure so much of the actual round that it's really hard to get an accurate guess. 4.2, but I continue on anyway. We've got these really tall, like spiky, like mountains in the sense that they just jut straight out of the ground there. Had to be somewhere in Thailand with those, or very likely to be, and we get really close around Phuket. The next one here, we have like that really dark orange number plate that you often see in Ecuador and Chile. Obviously this one's a bit tropical to be Chile, so just guess near Quito, and it ends up being 113 kilometers away. Very solid. And the last one here, we have the Lesser Sunda Islands kind of pole top here, so I knew it should be somewhere out here. I was thinking of Sumba, or one of these islands around there. Ends up being pretty close to Sumba, so we went up with a 23.38. Yeah, definitely a solid round there. Nothing to complain about. Especially nice on the Thailand and the Indonesias, but this round here that was just on the border with Moldova was always going to be tough. Okay, next one here. We start off in like some rice fields, or maybe that's not actually rice, but some fields here with the black Google car. This had to be somewhere in Korea, and yeah, that was really a nice and close guess there. Next one here, we have a bit of Cyrillic, and it feels kind of wintry, but I preferred Serbia over Bulgaria there, and it ends up being 20 kilometers away, which is just a really nice guess. I don't really know how I got so close there. Can't really think of it, but yeah, some of these games are not actually full games, because this one I wasn't quite sure. We got front plates, United States architecture. I end up actually going for Toronto here. Ends up being, you know, just in the DMV area, so just edit over to the next one. Another nice start here. Okay, this is kind of like a good case study. So we've got short plates on the cars. We've got this very like dry landscape with kind of like orangey brown dirt and lots of cacti in the background here. Generation 3 coverage, plus this kind of like smaller blur. And so I thought Curacao really fits with that soil color and that vegetation. And sure enough, it's 11 kilometers away. It's actually very distinctive. And the next one, we are lucky enough to have yellow outside lines, so we know this one should be somewhere Israel or Jordan. I think this one looked more like Israel. I'm pretty sure it was actually there. Northern Israel vibe, and yeah, ends up being near Haifa there, so 42 kilometers away. Cannot complain about that. And the next one here, take a look at this. Where are you going on this one? I really thought with the divided highway, this should be Tunisia. Now, you may not be able to see it. If you actually leant your head all the way into the screen, you can actually see that the number plate on that truck was blue. And so we're actually in Dakar. I think that's like the only highway in the whole of Senegal that would actually look like Tunisia. And it's just really unfortunate. Like the coastal vibe, really. Like I took a look at it again. If you zoom in, there's the blue number plate. But apart from that, I really struggle to see how I can get Tunisia here. Apart from the fact that we do have the small blur. So yeah, again, that could come in clutch. I could have actually noticed that and have gotten based on that. Next one here is an obvious Iceland with the yellow bollards. I'm a really bad Iceland region guesser. We had mountains to the south here, so I kind of tried to pick somewhere reasonably likely, and you know, that was certainly gettable with mountains to the south. And the next one we have all these little blurs, but it's way too mountainous to be anywhere in Lithuania with all the little blurs. So on this occasion, I opt for Slovakia based on the architecture, and it ends up being a really nice guess, 57 kilometers away. So just a 20,000, but it could have been a 24,000 had I got Dakar. So yeah, okay, this one's an interesting one. We've got Generation 2, lacking front plates. We got the mountains in the background, double yellow lines. I thought with the Generation 2, and it also feels like a bigger town, that Whitehorse is quite likely here just because it feels like, you know, there's a car park full of cars. Obviously ends up being correct. Next one here, we got the yellow plates. Should be somewhere in Israel for that reason with this curve as well. Ends up being Haifa. Felt a bit dry for Haifa, but, you know, we'll take it. And the next one here is going to be somewhere in the Netherlands. My Netherlands region guesses are just so trash. This ends up being south. I guess north. It wasn't a good guess. And of course, by the time I saw Brazil pop up, I knew it was basically down to luck here. I mean, obviously, you need skill for Brazil region guesses, but it's just so big you need to get lucky and close. And unfortunately, it was in Goiás rather than Tocantins. And finally, we had an easy Bolivia Santa de Cruz. And so, yeah, we end up with 22.5. A nice game, but, you know, had real potential, you could say. This one's a really nice guess. These look like Portuguese signs, but it feels very lush for Portugal. And so I thought, actually, Azores makes the most sense here. And actually, I'm pretty sure, I didn't know I was going to be correct, but I was pretty confident, and it ends up being 2.3 kilometers away, which is just pretty fire. And, okay, the next one here, we have big mountains. We have, that's basically all I had to go off of here. We had, you know, very Western European looking, but also big mountains. I go near Innsbruck, ends up being actually Innsbruck. I probably should have just clicked there, but 30 kilometers away, can't complain about that. And you also can't complain about getting a Switzerland. This is a fire start. We were really not dropping many points at all here. I end up going for near Bern, and look at that. It ends up being near Bern, 31 kilometers away. The middle hedge pays off. And the next one here, Russia. No. Well, actually, it wasn't Russia. This was actually Ukraine, but I thought it was Russia based on the trees. And so I just click all the way out near Irkutsk, and Krasnoyarsk ends up being... Yeah, I was a little bit annoyed about that. Ends up being in Ukraine, but what can you really do? It's just a hard round. Okay, but then we redeem ourselves. This is not the next round, but soon after, we got 5.4 kilometers away near Murmansk there. That's one of my best ever Russian guesses. Just thought I'd chuck it in. That's the only one from that clip. Next one was going to be somewhere in Hungary. We had very Hungarian poles and light bulbs there. 85 kilometers away. Nice little region guess. Next one's Hungary again. Blue reflectors you often see in Hungary. Well, not often, but every now and again. And another nice region guess there. Both times I was able to more or less pick the right side. Next one here, we have very Bolivian pavement, which is like kind of in a consistent mosaic pattern, and blue number plates as well, bluish text on the plates. And for whatever reason, I decided for a Cochabamba here, and ends up being correct, 4.7 kilometers away. So we were on a very solid start this one. Nothing world record pace, but definitely very 24K-able start so far. And this one, unfortunately, I could tell it was North America because of that little green sign, but I was not sure where to go here. I clicked the middle of Ontario, ends up being closer to Ottawa there, so no can do. Okay, this one is one of my most insane. This is one of my most insane New Zealand guesses ever. It's also just because the sun is shining in our faces. Like, how am I meant to get a good guess here? And yet, I go all the way deep south and it ends up being 20 kilometers away. Sheesh, bro. That's just that just makes me proud. Honestly, that's a nice round. Okay, next one here. We have a French pole. It has the holes in it, but it's not quite the same as what you'd see in Portugal. I end up like opting for near Grenoble here, and look at this. It's near Grenoble, 20 kilometers away. Hilly, France, a bit warm, and yeah, I cut off the video there because nothing else happened after. Okay, this one, we start off with a South Korean pole. Opt for near Seoul here. I think that was a repeat, actually. Maybe one of the ones we had against Steak, I feel like, where he got Seoul, so I think I remembered it from that, maybe. Could be wrong, but anyway, next one's obviously somewhere in bots, and I eventually find bots on the map, click in the north, and it ends up being right near those lakes. So even though it was a low score, I was very happy with how that turned out. Next one, we have this kind of reddish soil. This region of Latvia is known for the red soil. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out this time, but still a decent score, obviously. And then we get a nice Taiwan with the Taiwanese poles. Obviously, that region's pretty flat, so that made sense for a guess. And the final one here was very gettable. So obviously, with the walls around the houses, it's going to be South Africa with the white car. We have hills to our south-ish there. And it felt a little bit tropical based on the grass, but I couldn't quite tell. I clicked on Durban, knowing full well that with hills to the south, it probably wouldn't be Durban. Ends up being all the way near Cape Town, though, so it wasn't really a good guess. 21,000, but I had a lot of potential there. Had I do think the last two rounds were definitely able to be picked up if I was playing better. And here we have the run itself. Prepare yourself, ladies and gentlemen. This is special. This is special stuff. So I got it against the odds here. Okay, so first round here, very North Macedonian looking round. I just went straight in. I literally guessed that in 4 seconds, but we get 22 kilometers away. This is live on Twitch. Follow me on Twitch, by the way. Give the channel a sub as well. You already know. So 4,900 there. Nothing to complain about there. It's just a perfect plonk. And the next one. Here is the one. Here is the one where I lost most of my points. So we got the Greek bollards. Always nice to have a country-specific bollard there. We have the kind of short red reflector on it. We have a very flat landscape, though, by Greek standards. So everything lines up for Greece, but I have to think about where. And so I'm saying to the chat, yo, this is Greece, but it has to be flat. Where am I thinking flat? And so I immediately get in around Thessaloniki. Like, it definitely makes sense to, like, have flat regions around there. I pick the flattest part I can, and no. Only 4,400 points. It ends up being all the way on the Bulgarian-Turkish border there. I'm telling you guys, that round is gettable. If I'm a better player, or I'm more on the ball or something like that, I can get that round. Maybe even if I just, like, happen to, like, scroll, you know, accidentally a little bit further that way, I definitely find that flat section. Unfortunately, on this occasion, it wasn't to be. Now, my guess was fine. Like, it was a good guess, but, you know, I really could have gotten that, and you're going to see why it's so tragic in these next 3 rounds. Okay, so the next one, we have a pretty easy Israel. It's too green to be Jordan. Hills are slight, so it had to be pretty, like, far north when it's this green. I just go around Haifa here, and yeah, so it ends up being 52 kilometers away. Next one here. Here's where things start to get crazy, because look, we've still got 2 more rounds, and we can only drop 220 points in order to get a 24k. Let me tell you something. We only drop 27 points from here, or something like that. So you're about to see 2 very close guesses, is what I'm saying. Okay, so we got the red soil, tropical, hills in the background. I go Ghana. I picked this road because I know it's hilly. Look at that, it's 8.4 kilometers away. Just a nice guess. Just a clean guess. And then we met with this site, a ferry crossing with a tuk-tuk and the Kenya car on the ocean. This is very nice. And so here we go. We jump in here. Mombasa. I see the ferry crossing. I see the ferry crossing at the last second. I'm gonna leave you with my live reaction when we get the 5,000 point here. Oh my gosh. Yo, we did it! Let's go! Hey, there we go. Holy moly, imagine if I did... Dude, that Greek guess could have been so good. And so, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine... This would have been world record had I nailed the Greek guess. Obviously, you can always ask these what-ifs, but I really do believe that second round was doable, and we would have smashed our way into first place there. It would have been just so crazy. Just an insane score. But as it stands, the Macedonia, the Ghana, and the Kenya, 3 guesses I can be really proud of. The Israel was just a decent guess, and then Greece could have been huge. Could have been huge. As it stands though, we still made it into 4th place on the world record sheets if my submission gets accepted, which it should. And that's a blessing in itself. So very happy with that. Super solid game. And I'm going to stream more to try and go for that world record still. So, you know, you guys seeing I'm getting those close guesses every now and again. Let's just see if I can keep pushing for it. And yeah, guys, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the video soon. Goodbye.